Welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors, everyone. Guess I don't need that on. We're just getting packed up, ready to go here for the morning. It was a fairly late evening with all the skinning and everything, kind of getting everything taken care of yesterday. So I just went down and I unloaded, rearranged the truck a little bit. Didn't really do that much, but a little bit here. So I'll give you a kind of a rundown. So what I did is I kind of consolidated. So I got some 110s on this side and 1.5s on that side. I threw in 2 plates for drowning rigs for mink sets, 2 extra mink boxes. I got 2 weasel boxes right here and 3 more in the back. I have these 3 are basically gonna go right on our land down below the hill here. So I want those right by the back. I didn't bait them yet. I'll bait them when I get down there so the bait doesn't tip over onto my trap while I'm driving. I just threw the few T-bar stakes on that side over there, kind of in with my 220s and that type of stuff. So yeah, like I said, I think I'm pretty well, this here is my bait. So I got cubes of carp, muskrat hindquarter. This is cubes of beaver meat, and then I got bigger chunks of beaver meat in there. So the bigger chunks of beaver meat, each one of the weasel boxes is going to get a chunk of that, and then the mink boxes will get either that hindquarter or a chunk of beaver meat in there. I kind of feel like I'm forgetting something. I can't put my finger on what it is, but imagine once we get out on the line, we'll maybe figure it out. I don't know, I'm kind of excited again like I was last year when I had the Otter sets, man, I got a dozen, I got 11 pocket sets out. Hopefully there's a mink waiting for us this morning. Kind of scattered them all over the place. I did, a couple sloughs, I did put 2 in a slough. The last spot and kind of one in the middle. One in the middle, I put 1 on each side of the road, so they aren't in the same slough necessarily. But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of excited to see some of them. I feel like my traps aren't as stable as I'd like them. The locations aren't maybe as good as I'd like it, but I really don't know. I don't know if it's going to matter. One thing I didn't do, and I did this on purpose, I did not use any lure at my mink sets. I have some Mink Masters and some Lennon's mink lure, mink all-call. I didn't put any of that on any of them. We're gonna give it a day here, at least today, and then maybe tomorrow I may dab a little on each set if I haven't made catches, because I'm only gonna get about 3 or 4 checks here, and then I think things are gonna freeze up on me. So, in a pocket set, on a drowning rig has to have open water in order to be working. So it's like 28 this morning, so there may be just a scum of ice around the edges. Nothing that I'm worried about, my set's not working. Otherwise, I think it's supposed to be a real nice day today, like calm winds. Supposed to get like close to 50 today, so we're gonna run the line like normal, and then we're gonna probably put in some coyote sets at the end here. I only have a few more spots I'd really like to get, really 2 locations in particular, and a third one would be our other pasture over here. So hopefully we got a little time to put sets in. I almost said extra time, but I'm hoping I got a catch day like yesterday, and we got a truckload of fur to take care of tonight. So yeah, otherwise, like I said, I don't really have too much else for you. I think we're pretty much ready to go. I got the side-by-side warming up so I can go check the 3 out in our pasture here. We're gonna make my little north loop here. I got 2 sets to the west or east of us here, 4 miles, and 2 sets kind of 1.5 miles to the north here. It's kind of all on the same road. I'll make that loop, and then I'll drop in 3 weasel boxes down below the hill, and then we'll kind of go on to the rest of the normal line here. So you never know, maybe I got a catch here, catch, you know, on that loop or whatever. If I have a catch on any of those loops, I end up coming right back by the house, so I'll drop the catches off here at home so I don't have to haul them around. But I did make, you know, like I said, these 3 are gonna get dropped off almost right away, so I made a little room in the back here with the hopes and intentions that there's gonna be some critters riding home with me today. So the only thing I was gonna mention too, I didn't put out a lot of muskrat sets. I didn't even try in a lot of the sloughs. I just can't get out close enough to the water. I have knee-high boots on, you know, they go up this high inside my pants there. But boy, if you slip off the cattails, you're gonna be knee-deep in mud, and I don't wanna be wet out on the line. And again, I don't wanna be wearing waders. If I wanted to be wearing waders, I'd have put out 100 muskrat sets yesterday. So I have them in the truck in case, you know, like I do have a critter on one of my pocket sets or something, and something happens and I can't get it pulled in, you know, or I happen to catch a raccoon or something that's not dispatched. I have waders so I can take care of that in case I need to, but it'd be just putting them on for one set and then taking them back off again. So I have them as kind of an insurance plan. So yeah, and like the 2 mink boxes, I just threw them in. I'm not sure that I have any locations in mind to put them out, but I thought, well, we'll just throw them in here just in case. The 2 other weasel boxes, I think I got 2 spots figured out for those. 2 spots I drive by every day anyway, so I'm not driving out of my way. It's just gonna be hop out, bait them, set them, and then to check them. What I do, so I actually set these 3 traps in here. Right here, you could see that yellow line. I don't know if you could see. All right, you see that yellow thing in there? That's the pan of my trap. And I could see it better with my naked eye than you guys can see it on camera. So I get my box set basically facing like that towards the road, and then I can see my pan in there. And if my pan is down, then I know I either have a catch or my trap set off, let's put it that way. Then I know I have to get out and monkey with them. So I don't have to open them up every day. I just look in the hole and see if my pan is still sticking up. If my pan is still sticking up, then I know I'm good for the day. Or, you know, I don't need to open it or do anything like that. You know, if mice or anything try to get in there, they set them off. So it's kind of a, I really like the design. I took some designs from a few other people, modified it a little bit. My box is a little bit narrower than some, just so there's no room for animals to get around my pan in there. I want to make sure if an animal goes in that box, especially a weasel, that they set that thing off and they're waiting for me when I get there. I don't really want to catch 100 weasel either, but I think like we're probably going to leave these boxes out most of the time I'm trapping here towards the end here. I may pull them like a day early just because, again, like the mink boxes and weasel boxes take up a lot of room. So I may pull them like a day earlier than all the rest of the line, but I got a weasel caught already for the year, so I'm not really looking for that, you know, that animal. I think I mentioned it yesterday, but I'm not going to probably end up with the Grand Slam again this year. The otter is the one that I'm not going to probably catch. I do have, you know, these pocket sets out, could catch an otter, honestly. I haven't seen an otter. I've seen zero sign of otters, but I haven't caught an otter. I haven't caught a mink yet, and I haven't caught a red fox. So that might be the one, honestly. Like I could dumb luck into an otter here in one of these pocket sets, or I do have one beaver set out I put out yesterday, where that landowner told me there was he's seen the beaver on the road. I did drop a beaver set back in there yesterday. I actually think I got it set up better than I had it before, but yeah, that red fox, I haven't seen a red fox running around even when I've been out on the line. So as dumb as it sounds, that may be the animal that I don't catch, is the red fox. So if that's what it is, I'm actually good with that. I like fox. I don't know. They probably do just as much damage to all the pheasants and ducks and everything else when they're nesting as, you know, maybe skunks and raccoons. But I don't know. I'd rather have a whole herd of fox running around than have coyotes, raccoons, and skunks running around. So, all right, we'll get off my soapbox here. We're gonna hop in the side-by-side quick, and I'll run out and check these, and then we'll get out on the line. All right, guys, we're going through the line. I'm gonna buy this abandoned farmyard. I've got a couple skunks here, and I got, I don't know, 5 more over by the house over there. But I talked in both of the last 2 videos, I think, about the rats screwing with me, stealing my bait. Well, there it is. That is a rat with his head caught in my dog proof. So I'm going to yank this set here. So they've been messing with this one every day. The ball's been knocked off. Yesterday there literally was only about that much bait. You know, I used cat food and corn, shell corn. Kind of probably 20% shell corn, 80% cat food. There was only just a little left in there. I don't put anything on my cat food other than just plain cat food. And then I'm just gonna walk over and look at this other one here. This other one over here, I'm wondering if the trap itself ain't setting itself off, and then you know, when it sets off, it knocks the golf ball off, and then the rats are just coming and feasting. But we'll take a look at this one here too, like I said. So we're gonna pull that other set. I'm done playing around with the rats in here. You know, it's been messed with every single day. On this one, my ball's knocked off too. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys could see in there, but she is bone empty. They got every last little kernel out of there. So we're gonna pull this one here too. So this one's just tied to this tree. It's not a very big tree, only 1 inch around, but it's still alive. It's still green. So I've been using that tree for a couple years now to tie this off to. So it seems like once the rats find your sets, they just won't leave them alone. Like, I mean, I've caught 3-4 rats now, I think, in this yard. You know, so like, yeah, one rat's coming and he found your bait and he's stealing it. You catch one, you think that would maybe end it for a while. It doesn't. It's just like one right after the other. So, you know, and I don't know, there's a lot of rats underneath the one building over there. So, like I said, I'm done playing with them. Saved me a little bit of driving around in this yard. I do have one dog proof right by the front of the house there. I had my double box there to begin with. Instead of bringing that back down here, I just put a dog proof there, and then I have that trail set going up to the on the sidewalk over there, and neither one of them been messed with. So for the last 4 checks or whatever it's been here. So, but yeah, I'm done messing with the rats here. I already, like, before I even pulled into this yard, I'm like, I bet I'm gonna be pulling them 2 sets today. I already knew it. Like I said, it's just once they find them, they just will not leave them alone. And it isn't worth rebait. You could rebait it every day and they'll clean you out down there every day. So, all right. Just wanted to kind of show you guys, like I said, the ball gets knocked off. This, you know, today it's still set. Yesterday it was set off. You know, and I wonder sometimes, like I said, if it's set off, it knocks the ball off. Well, then they can get right in there. But they're obviously getting in there anyway and cleaning me out. So we'll get these 2 sets pulled. You know, I don't want to be pulling sets in the middle of the season, but I also don't want to be feeding rats either. So, and I kind of feel like I got most of the critters. Like, there may be some skunks in here. There might be a raccoon might travel through here at some point, but we still got the sets up by the house until the rats mess with those. So we'll get these pulled and move on. All right, guys. So I've checked a couple coyote sets and 2 raccoon sets in this on this road on this grove. You know, I caught one like the last pull day. It was right in here. I got this culvert here. Mink box on that side isn't messed with. I got 2 110s. One's right here, and one's right here. Bingo bango. Got ourselves a muskrat 2 days in a row in that set. I don't know, like, some years these culvert sets don't really pay out, but boy, this year they're paying dividends, I'll tell you. I mean, I don't know, like, between colony traps and sets like this, you know, for a while there, that's all the sets I had out were that type of a set. So, and then what I did is I have my 2 pole sets. I got my 110 right here, and my foothold over there is still working. So just 1 muskrat here again today. You know, like these sets, like if I was wearing waders, they'd be way down here in the corner and they'd be out beyond all the cattails. You know, so they'd be like where this point is, they'd be like 3 feet out beyond them. So if the muskrats are swimming out, you know, they're not gonna, they don't typically swim in the cattails and weave their way through. They swim out along the edges of them. So that's where I'd like my set. But like I said, I just can't get out far enough to put them out. And like I said, there's very few spots, even like here, that pole set over there with the foothold hardly has enough water to drown a muskrat. There's plenty there, or I wouldn't have left it like that. But anyway, we'll get this one little muskrat out of here. Not, he's not that little, but get that muskrat out of here. And first catch of the day again, other than a rat, I guess, but first catch I can actually take home and make a little money off of. So we'll get him out of there. That set remade won't take long here, and we'll be on our way. All right, guys, I know you're not gonna be able to see them, or maybe not, but right down in here, like this whole area is all full of like crappie minnows. They're just constant. I doubt you're gonna be able to see them, but they're all like right here. A whole huge school of them are swimming out of here. And the funny part is, this slough was completely dry a couple years ago. Or was it last year? I don't know, one of the last 2 years it was completely dry. So the fact that there's minnows in here is surprising. So on the other side of the road, I'm by this big slough here on this side. Down here, I'm not sure, I almost think my sets are frozen again. It's all open water, like out to about like here, and then all the rest of this has got like a skim of ice on there. So I'm not sure if I got anything. We'll check those later on. But on the other side of the road, my 110 is just set off, but I can see I got a catch in this one if I can reach it here. So I got myself a little muskrat there. But the old pocket set here came through. Not one I want to be catching. So I got my portable pocket right here. I had my trap setting kind of right in front of it, and that looks like a muskrat laying there. I mean, I'll pull him in off a camera. So my plate is just out here kind of in this deeper water, and bingo, muskrat. So yeah, I got a chunk of carp and a chunk of beaver meat in this pipe. I should probably throw a little bit of grass or something over it. I maybe will do that today, but bingo. First catch in a purposely set mink set, but unfortunately not that mink I'm looking for. So we'll get, I got 3 sets here to get remade. Up here on the corner, we're gonna drop in a weasel box, and then like I said, we'll check the other 4 sets I got down here. I'm hoping they're not frozen, maybe they got catches, but. All right, so we're in the same slough here, just down the road a little bit, but my 110 here, it's set about right where I want it to be, but man, my pole looks like it's really leaning over. So I don't know if I purposely set it that way or how it ended up quite like that. And then my foothold over here, my carrot is partially ate and down in the water down there. And my pole is turned. You know, normally I would have my trap facing out that way. My trap is right here. And there's my carrot down on the bottom sitting underneath it. So, but actually you could see, hopefully you guys could see, muskrat chewed on my sugar beet there. So Had a miss there for sure. And then on the other side of the road here, I could see we didn't have a miss here though. Oh, we did have a miss. You guys can see right here is a muskrat floating in my foothold here. And then my 110 here is just set off. So we had one miss here. And you can see there's just a skim of ice. So I'm actually just trying to kind of break the ice up around where my set's going to be here. So we'll get probably all 4 of these fixed up a little bit. I guess I could pull this guy out for you. He's all stretched out. Imagine he was trying to get up. This is one of those spots I tried to find the deepest spot here to put my foothold to make sure I had enough to drown them. This one happened to get caught by the back legs, and that gives them a little bit extra height so they actually, you know, could get up to the top. But so yeah, 3 muskrats out of this thru, 4 for the day. At least the water line's kind of keeping my catch up a little bit. You know, I prefer to be catching a few animals, and I would hope a mink in one of these sets. I've only checked, I think this is the 3rd pocket set now I've checked, so you know, we still have most of the throws are kind of on the east side of my line, and I'm on the west side of my line right now. So, you know, once I get over there, there'll be actually a few pockets that's just right in a row, probably 5 of them in a row. So, hopefully one of them got a mink waiting for me. But we'll take a muskrat here or there. Like I said, we'll get all 4 of these probably doctored up a little bit, and then we'll get my weasel box put out down here, and we'll be on our way. Alright guys, I'm to checking some pocket sets. I got one down the road a little bit where I had the 3 colony traps in that culvert. The wind had blown a whole bunch of cattails on top of my trap. It was still set, but it wasn't going to catch anything like that, so it took a minute to clean the cattails and stuff away from it. But I put one here, so we got a thru here. There's a little bit more on that side of the road, but there's too many cattails here. The thru is up more than it normally is here, I feel like. So there was only about this one spot here where there wasn't a lot of cattails. So I had my pipe set right here, and my trap is set off, and I could see something in it, but not what I want. I got what appears to be the front leg of a muskrat. It got tangled up, wrapped around this chunk of weeds here. I may have to move my drowning plate out this way so they go this way. But yeah, I believe that's the front leg of a muskrat. Just looking at the claws. So had a miss here. I mean, there is literally a small little kind of feed bed right here too, so not terribly surprising that happened, but I'm a little surprised that, I don't know if it's the fishy smell from that carp or what that's bringing muskrats to my sets. But like I said, we'll redo this a little bit, see if I can get my drowning plate, instead of running this way, kind of running out here to hopefully keep my animal away from that little clod of stuff and get this reset. All right guys, so what I got here, there's a giant wildlife here. It's like most of a square mile, and there's a big thru over here. I do have a mink set over there with nothing to messed with. And what there is, there's a culvert going under the road right here. Find the actual culvert here. It's gonna be right where this trail is. And I dropped a 220 in right over here, which is still working, isn't unset. But I had that I had the weasel box yesterday, and then I ended up catching that weasel in that mink box. You know, I was gonna swap out the mink box for a weasel box. Figured, well, the weasel's there, but I caught him. Today that set wasn't messed with, but I threw the weasel box right down here. I hope you guys can see the white sticking out. So I had my weasel box here last fall, and the shrews started screwing with me over and over again, and I, you know, baited and baited and baited. I never did catch a weasel here, but I caught like 10 shrews. So you could see how I set my trap. So I could actually see from my truck window, I could see that weasel sticking out there. So I don't have to stop and open the box or do nothing. And I can actually see my trap pan in there, but this box has been out 1 day, and bingo bango, there's a weasel. I think he's a little bit smaller maybe than the other one. I'm not real sure, but that other one was actually a decent sized weasel. He's bigger than this one is, I think, but they get kind of that weird kink because their ass is still sticking out. Basically what I have is my trap pan is about right here. So they basically go from here, and the idea is that they try to put their front feet on that pan because it's about level with the hole. And then as soon as they do that, bammo, this is how I catch them. And almost everyone I catch in these boxes is caught exactly like that, kind of right by the front shoulders. But I could catch a weasel this year. So, I mean, I just put out 5 more boxes today. We're going to let them all ride. I'm going to remake this one. I'm actually going to lure it with some Hawbreakers weasel lure because I didn't have that with yesterday. We'll get this guy out of this trap and we'll get moved on. An old weasel added to the catch. So we're down to just a handful of sets left, a little bit of everything. Beaver, mink, muskrat, a couple coyote sets. So, and then I'm going to add on to the line. It's fairly early, so we're going to add on to the coyote line today. Basically, this is about as far as I made it. We're going to try and add maybe I was 5 more sets down here, and then I'd like to add some around our farm. So, and so far, skinning's going to be fairly quick today. I got 4 muskrats and a weasel, so. All right, we'll get this guy out of here, get this box reset, and we'll move on. First day, weasel caught. So yeah, you can kind of see, so I had one beaver set down over here, and I had that muskrat caught in it that day, but the wind, you know, north wind's gonna be blowing into this side. I thought my mink set right down here would be kind of out of it, but it's kind of blowing the weeds in here. The wind is more like straight westerly, and I needed to kind of switch to be like a more of a northwest, and then my mink set would be out of the wind. I had my beaver set right down in here the first time, but either the wind is blowing muck up in there or the water level in this slough has actually went down, and I think that's actually more of the case because I couldn't even get my set, you know, a quarter of my 330 in the actual water there. All right, so right here you can kind of see it's like a crossover here. Goes over here, and then I got my beaver set right here, but nothing's messed with it today. So caster all still looks good, everything. The muskrats didn't mess with it, but it isn't the best beaver set, but I can't get out anywhere without wearing waders to make it any better. So caster's here, the wind's kind of blowing that way, so I don't know if he's in here or not, but we'll give it a shot. As long as I'm gonna stop and have this mink and these muskrat sets here, I might as well throw this beaver set back in and see if I can't catch a beaver in here, or a raccoon, or even I mean, if I was gonna catch an otter right here, it'd be it, you know, a crossover from that side to this side. So I don't know. And what this is this used to be a road here, and that used to be the road. But the slough got high enough, they rebuilt the road out on the outside over here around this. And then this road actually goes across the slough. Some years it's actually exposed and you can see it out there. But the last couple years the water's been high enough that hasn't been the case. But all right, I thought if I was gonna catch anything, this would be the spot, but nothing. All right, everyone, we made her home. It's kind of amazing to me. All I could do is just kind of chuckle to myself. It's kind of amazing to me the difference 1 day can make, right? yesterday morning it was cold. It was in like the low, or it was about probably mid 20s or high 20s. Today it was like close to 40. Yesterday I made 4 catches in my coyote sets. Today I made 0. And the only land animal I caught was that rat I caught in a dog proof. So, you know, like I said, it's just, that's the way the line goes, I guess. Like I said, it's kind of feast or famine. You know, you make 3 catches, coyotes, or catch 3 coyotes one day. Yeah, I mean, you don't expect to catch 3 the next day as well. I mean, I would love to. I expect that, obviously, because I have 40 coyote traps out. I expect 40 coyotes every trip, but reality doesn't really work that way. So yeah, like I said, did good yesterday, but kind of bust today on the land line. Luckily, the water line kind of come through for me. Actually, you know what? Now that I say it, boom, we do got a land animal. Look at that monster. Second one in 2 days, purposely caught this time, and instead of catching them in my mink set. I do have 2 weasel boards, so I actually can get that guy put up tonight. But I wanted to make a point. Now, he's pure white. Get him in the shadow so he ain't blinded. So he's pure white, where that one yesterday, that bigger one, was still a little gray on the back, and then he was just dirty on his belly. But so yeah, nice little weasel. First time I've ever caught one there. I felt like last year I was getting messed with by a weasel at the end. You know, I was trying to catch a weasel and trying, and it was almost like a personal vendetta. And I put a lot of miles on, and then I finally caught one little one this size, but not in this spot. So it's kind of nice. At least the shrews didn't mess with me right away anyway. We got a weasel caught. And then we did end up with 4 muskrats. I was going to say nice. These 2 are decent size. These 2 are a little on the smaller size. You know, they're not much difference in size between them. You know, this one's maybe an inch smaller. These are probably larges. These 2 are mediums or something like that. But yeah, I did look, and I did have the front foot of a muskrat caught in that trap. It's right here. I grabbed it just so I could keep it, or just so I could make sure, but it's quite a bit bigger than, like, you know, size-wise. It's quite a bit bigger than that one. So I imagine it was probably a little bit bigger muskrat, but first twist off I've had all year. I think I'm close to 60 muskrats now, so to have one twist out, it just, my trap got tangled around that little clod of weeds. I'm just glad that didn't happen with a mink on there, honestly. So, I mean, and I've caught 3-legged muskrats in the past, you know, most likely ones that I've caught a leg off of. So they heal right up from that, or may heal up from it, or whatever, or do sometimes heal. So I'm not too worried about it. It's a bummer I lost an animal there, but, you know, 2 catches in my 11 pocket sets, you know, I had 2, caught 1 muskrat and lost 1 muskrat. So, you know, I kind of take that as a win, honestly, that I caught anything in them, to be honest with you. It was kind of a lot of fiddling around to get them all put out yesterday, so, well, a couple the day before and then yesterday, so. Otherwise, yeah, I really don't have a whole lot for you. I did add 3 coyote sets right at the end. I was going to add 5, but I drove out to a rock pile. They finally got a field worked, and I was going to go put 2 coyote sets out by this rock pile, and somebody had dumped their deer carcasses on this rock pile. So, and I can't put, in Minnesota, you can't have traps within, I think, 25 feet of exposed bait. Well, it's exposed. It's literally laying on the rock pile. So, and the rock pile is only maybe 20 foot around, so I can't get far enough away from them. I'm not hauling the somebody else's deer carcasses away, so I just, you know, I drove almost a half mile out across this field, rough ass field, to get there, and just to basically turn around and drive right back out. So, and then in the sets right before there, the set right before that, it helps if you take your stake driver with you when you leave. So I got all the way back home here. I'm gonna go put some coyote sets in our south pasture here, and I threw my coyote bag in there. I'm like, where's my stake driver? So I'm looking all over. I bet I left it, sure enough. So I had to drive I bet 10 miles or a little more one way down there to where like my last trap was, or where I put the last one in. Sure enough, laying right next to the set. So yeah, 10 miles down there and 10 miles back just to get my stake driver back. I just didn't want to leave it, and I want to use it. I mean, could I make a catch there tomorrow with it laying right there? Maybe. I don't know. But I still want to use it today. So like I said, that was more important than it scaring a catch away tomorrow or overnight here. So, but what I am going to do, in our south pasture, there is a little creek running through there. So I'm going to grab enough gear to throw some muskrat sets in there. I told you this morning I haven't caught a weasel or a muskrat off of our land. I put 3 weasel boxes down by our couple chunks of CRP grass below the hill here down by the lake this morning. I don't know if there's any muskrats in there, but boy, I think I can get some sets in from the shore. Even if it's just 110s with carrots on it, that's what we'll put in. You know, they don't really, you only need 3 inches of water to make that type of set. So we're gonna drop a couple muskrat sets in over there and just see what happens. So I'm gonna take this little tote with me and probably 4 poles or so, and I'm gonna take my raccoon pail and a couple dog proofs with me, and then I'm gonna take this last portable pocket. So I got one more portable pocket here. I showed you guys this earlier. So that's the last one I have. So we're gonna take that guy with me too, and someplace down in that creek we're gonna find a spot to put that portable pocket. I'd happily catch a mink off of ours again. I caught one last year out of our pasture down by where I caught the otter and the beaver down in there. So all that's completely wiped out. There's no trees, there's nothing down in there anymore. They completely redid that whole ravine this summer, so there's nothing down there, literally nothing. It's just rocks in the bottom and kind of a grassy hillside on the, so I'm gonna drop one coyote set along the edge of that, but just there's nothing in there, mink or otter or anything. There's nothing for any of them in there, and there isn't any standing water up in there either. So but yeah, so we're gonna go drop in maybe 10-12 more sets. I do have one coyote set out here. It was set off this morning. The deer, it looks like deer stepped in it. You know, I just drive to the top of the hill and use my binoculars to check them. It was set off this morning. I figured, well, we're just gonna run my line, and when I got home today, I'd run out there and remake it. So I'll run out there and remake that one when I'm done talking with you guys too. And yeah, I don't know, fairly productive day on the line. I'm getting my line out to about where I'd like it. I mean, I'm a little bummed I couldn't add those 2 extra coyote sets because I've been waiting for that field to get worked. I'm not sure the landowner knows that there's somebody threw them out there, so I'm gonna let him know as well. If he threw them out there, then I'll just let him know that I can't put coyote sets because he did that. But yeah, otherwise, like I said, okay day on the line. You know, all this stuff is going to get skinned, fleshed, and put up tonight. The badger from yesterday, I just have him in my entryway where he'd stay cool. We're going to run him. I got my pail over here. We're going to rinse him and do all that this afternoon, get him drying in the basement for this evening. It was like 8 o'clock by the time I got in, and he went to hardly dried last night anyway, so I just figured I was exhausted, let's put it that way. So we're gonna get him cleaned up today, and I think I got one skunk over here in a bag from 3 days ago already. We're gonna try and get the essence and get him skinned and put up, or skinned and fleshed, or skinned and washed and drying again tonight too. So yeah, just slowly plugging away, getting traps out. Like I said, I think we're getting real close to what I'm probably going to end up running for the rest of the season here. I got 8 more checks. So if I don't put in like coyote sets, if I don't get them in the next couple days, I probably won't put them in at all. I'm probably going to try and downsize my tote a little bit here, just carry a few to redo sets if I have a trap that gets messed up or one that gets muddy, something like that. Otherwise, like I said, I don't need to be hauling around 100 traps right now because I'm not going to put that many more out. So All right, like I said, I think I got some more work ahead of me here, but we're gonna sign off. I just appreciate you guys riding around with me, and we'll see you guys out on the line tomorrow.